Hey guys, Brian Zimmerman here with CrossFit Gel Gym. Today we're answering a member request, how to gain weight. So how to gain weight, we're going to talk about two specific things, nutrition and training, just a couple tips on each end of the spectrum, and then we'll build a template in our next video on just sort of some of the training things that we're going to do to gain weight. So nutrition-wise, we're going to start with how much. How much? We're talking at least greater than or equal to 1 gram of protein per pound of mass. Okay, in previous videos we talked about lean body mass. We're talking about gaining weight. We want 1 gram per total mass. So if I weigh 200 pounds, I need to have, and I want to weigh 240, okay, I'm going to be eating more than 200 grams of protein per day. Okay? How much carbohydrate? We're going to be having more than that. Okay? We're going to be having at least 1.25 times the protein grams in carbohydrate. Okay. Next question, what kind? What kind of protein? We want to have any kind of protein is good. All protein. It's good to go. When you're trying to gain weight, a lot of times you're going to consume a bunch of that in a powder form. Mostly just because it's hard to eat that much food in a single day or in like one sitting and spread out across the day. So we're going to be taking in any sort of protein that we can to get to our main number. Our carbohydrates, whereas like somebody who is just looking for general health and wellness, we would recommend, mostly vegetables, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. Our folks that are trying to gain weight, we're going to give a little bit different recommendation. And specifically, we're going to have a lot more grains. And generally, that's just because it's easier to consume. It's a little bit lower volume. When you think about one serving of broccoli, it's relatively large, versus half a slice of bread being that same serving size, it's a little bit easier to consume. So the grains are going to make it easier to consume enough carbohydrate in order to get the protein where it needs to go. So grains, fruits are also okay. Sugar is not our favorite thing, but it's usable as a tool here. And then we still want to have some vegetables in the diet for health's sake. Okay. Post-workout nutrition becomes even more important when we're trying to gain weight, because we need to take advantage of the body's sensitive time. And so during this post-workout, that's where we're going to have probably the least favorable stuff. And we're going to make sure that we have an appropriate amount of protein that we can digest. So for women, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 grams of protein is the maximum that your body can digest during a 4-hour time frame. And guys, depending on individuals, the guy's number is about 50. So if we can maximize the amount that's going to happen there, so let's say we have 50 grams of protein post-workout, protein, that post-workout drink for guys, 30 for ladies. And then carbohydrate-wise, what we're going to do is we're going to match that or just a little bit more in carbohydrate grams. So let's just say that the guys are at 75 grams of carb, and then ladies would be at about 45 grams of carb. And what we're going to do with that's going to be possibly one of those sugary type drinks. So we're thinking Kool-Aid, lemonade, coconut water, flavored almond milk, something like that has a bunch of carbohydrate that tastes good and matches well with your protein powder and is easy to consume. If we can hit that, that's going to help get us recovered. It's also going to put all the nutrients where they need to go to help us gain some weight. So that's sort of our couple points on the nutrition that anybody who's trying to gain weight should be doing with their nutrition. Training wise, what we're going to talk about now is which lifts should you be doing. So everybody who's trying to gain weight needs to be doing a couple particular lifts. So there's 3 movements in general. When you think about getting the most musculature to work at one time, if you can get the most musculature to work at one time, that's what's going to elicit the largest response from your body to adapt. And so specifically in our instance where we're trying to gain weight, if more of our body is responding to an effort, more of it's going to adapt, and that's going to give us more weight gain or more positive strength gain as well. So those lifts are, one pulling movement that I'm talking about is the deadlift. Okay, a squatting exercise, the back squat. Okay, and a pressing movement, the bench press. So those three movements, this is the heaviest pulling exercise that you can do unless you are incredibly imbalanced. Okay? As far as squatting is concerned, back squat is the one where you're going to be able to lift the most weight. Bench press, there's no other pressing movement where you can move as much load. These are the three that you want to base your training off of if you're trying to gain weight. These are going to be the three most important ones. So these three lifts are going to elicit the most response from your body to gain weight. Okay? How often should you lift? As often as your body will recover. So each one of these lifts, say we train each one of these when you're first lifting and you're able to recover relatively quickly because you're not moving in relation to where you're going to be moving heavier weight, you may be able to train these lifts 3 days a week with the exception of maybe the deadlift, which would probably be once or twice a week. But how often? I like to say, or start off with, we're going to lift 3 days a week. Okay? And we're going to lift the deadlift, the back squat. And we want to do these lifts, say 3 days. So one day would be a deadlift day, one day would be a back squat day, one day would be a bench press day. And what we're going to include in there is a major lift and 2 or 3, maybe even 4 accessory exercises, depending on if you're doing something outside of these lifts during the week. So you'd start with a main lift, and then you'd have 3 supplemental lifts that you couldn't lift as heavy. So basic progression, just progress it up a little bit, weight each week until you can. See you guys next time.